and welcome back. My name is Thorn, and this is the Game Design Lexicon, where we look at all and any type of game. Today we're playing the Cultist simulator, and just as a bit of station identification, if you like what you see, give us a follow. And over on YouTube, which are in our socials, if you look at our About profile, you can find our YouTube, which you can give us a subscribe if you want to look at some of our past broadcasts, ones that are no longer carried by Twitch. So here in Cultist Simulator, if you're just joining us, we are playing Phil McCrevis, the physician. A humorous name, but remember that it is Dr. Phil, and that we are trying to reach enlightenment. Were we outbid? I didn't notice. I must have not thrown a bid in. Silly me. And we need to continue working. That is bringing in a lot of our funds. Looks like despair is rearing its ugly head. We'll have to deal with that. Some Greek translation looks like it's needed. What happened? Oh, there it is. We lost it because it decided it was going to move. Lock the study door. The work begins. I hope everyone's Saturday evening is going well. We're 1:03 a.m. here, Central Standard Time in Southeast Texas. And we are approaching the witching hour. We'll see if we can make it. A little bit of fascination. Certainly nothing wrong with that. Continue our work at the Institute. It earns us money. And we've studied and translated a true and complete accounting of the Asplian mysteries of the roots of the house. This is very obviously not an antique text. At the very least, it has been badly mutilated, but it contains substantial, intriguing material, especially a persuasive comparison of the many portrayed house without walls to the human body. This feels like my rum and coke is taking effect. I hope you're enjoying the music tonight. Our music tonight is, of course, Zombie Girl. Last tune was Jesus Was a Zombie, which I believe he was if he rose from the dead. We have some contentment to deal with this restlessness once it evolves. Work at the Institute. There is a dank, clinging smell to the Institute halls that never quite leaves one. Perhaps it is the paint, perhaps it is the patients, perhaps it is something in the walls. And we've gained a right of the map's edge. The vagabond is the only hour that never enters the mansis. The rite must be performed in the right place, in the right time, and the vagabond will take that rightness to her own. So we've gained another ritual and another aspect. Words that walk the syllables of the formula are compelling. I find myself snapping my fingers to its rhythm. It desires not to cease. Another aspect, heart. Okay, and let's study another book that we need to translate from Latin, which is no big deal because we are a Latin scholar. And are we still searching for anything amongst the city? Probably not. might have found somewhere unusual. Explore an uncanny tangle of streets by the light of the moon. Streets are strange in the hour called Miniscale. And let us explore. Continue our work at the Institute. Our funds are becoming substantial. We found glimmering in the streets. We'll continue on until it's gone. Or maybe just keep it forever. Let's see. Debellius Mororum by Soliphostus. The poem epileptically describes a war between beasts. Whether phenomena and arcane concepts, it's quite specific about their tactics. Wow, we haven't used our reason or passion for a while. Not that I'm surprised. We found a subtle fracture. Clouds part, walls creak, old wounds ache. A sixth order influence, significant resonance or correspondence. This can be used in some rites or to some minions. Yeah, fascination is lost on us, though we are becoming unhealthy. But we did find a Chill Arcs lesson from our last studies. We'll study health next to make sure we have something to deal with our illness. And let's continue our let's explore this fleeting remnants before it goes away. We only have one dread and one contentment, which we can get rid of since our dreaming is empty. Our affliction and more contentment. Some fascination. And we will continue our work as Dr. Phil. Maybe someday we'll find an ability to utilize all of our mysticism that we're discovering. An affliction is the easiest to deal with. It either takes money or vitality. Vitality, which gives you enough time to earn if you need be, so you don't waste your funds. Though I'm not poor at the moment. Fortunately, my work at the Institute is lucrative. However, my studying is... On closer investigation, the work seems to be a theory of aesthetics, or perhaps a set of warnings about the dangers of painting. Painting which we haven't done yet. I'm sure if we did, it would attract the attention of the law, of the Suppression Bureau. We're gaining restlessness. We're really gaining restlessness. Let's get rid of it, the earliest one. That way it won't become dread. A sexton secret. We now have our first aspect, winter. Certain knowledge, it is said, can be expressed only through the particular quality of silence. It has been suggested that one can only read such knowledge with one's eyes closed, but only by mischievous commentators. Use this rite with a corpse, and edge aspect, and the corpse will rise. Interesting. Looks like we need to translate some Latin, so let's do so. We have much restlessness. I don't know how we're going to deal with it. Maybe we can buy some opium to deal with the despair that it might cause. And there we go. One of the dread has been taken by our fascination, which is awesome. It will remove it. Glimmering we have no use for, as we'll need some sort of mysticism to advance it any further than it currently is. Looks like we're able to translate our De Horis Book 1. De Horis Volume 1. This volume deals mostly with the hours of the wood, the moth, the black flax, the ring yew, among others. Another uncomfortable silence. And we've vanquished our fascination. Let's explore fleeting remnants. Maybe we'll get something other than dread. And continue our work at the Institute, of course. We're becoming rich. I don't really know what to do with all the money what we have. Though I should probably use it to bid at Oriflamme's. Let's do that. I don't think our bleak thoughts are going to have an issue now. We were able to conquer it easily. However, we should be studying the locksmith's dreams, the parallels and mystic dream experienced by carpenters, masons, and other artisans, and what they purport to reveal about the architecture of the world. Sometimes mordant, sometimes funny. No one has ever explained why Galmir devoted herself to this quixotic exploration of artisans' dreams. I guess we'll read it and find out. We must have missed an auction bid. And our work at the Institute continues. The fleeting remnants. Maybe we'll have time to explore it. If our venture at Oriflamme's actually gains us something. Sanskrit reader. We already know Sanskrit, so unfortunately that's a bust. Let's see if they have anything else. Another fleeting remnants. Let's bid. Locksmith's dreams gain us some iridation and a watchman's secret, which we now have 2 of. And plenty of books to still study. Let's get this Sanskrit's reader out of the way. We should auction off our ending book from Moreland's, as it has no use now. Latin grammar, again, we already know that. Thank you. Let's auction off this book. It'll earn us a gold. And continue our work at the Institute. Looks like these fleeting remnants will probably go away. Looks like the Institute's been mighty profitable. Which is not a bad thing. So far, other than the police officer, or the inspector, I guess you should call them, you haven't really had an issue with money. Inspector's really good as long as you keep going, but eventually you run out of people to inspect. and that becomes a problem. Silence. Oop. Okay, looks like we're building up some dread here. That's not good. Let's spend some funds on some contentment through the medium of opiates. Our fascination, of course, is not going anywhere. Let's see if it builds us some more dread. I'm glad I decided to obtain some contentment. Hopefully that'll deal with that. Study is not going, so let's go. More Latin. More Latin than we need to translate. Fascination. Probably won't go anywhere. We should start to break down some of our higher abilities. Or our higher mysticisms. As we'll probably end up shifting them around. And our contentment did nothing. And unfortunately we're getting closer to blowing our brains out due to despair. Volume of the orchid transfigurations. The illustrations are certainly striking. They flesh the skin and glow beneath the eyelids after the book is closed. And of course we've obtained more contentment. That'll most likely subside our despair. Seems like we're doing okay. Though we are becoming ill again. Easy to deal with. And our despair is gone. Maybe. Looks like we might need a little bit more contentment to get rid of it. We should probably start painting. That'll earn us some notoriety. Oop. Why are we doing the wrong thing here? There we go. A heal. All I need is time now. Hunger glows in my brain. Hunger for the knowledge the invisible arts might bring. That's going to bring us some despair, unfortunately. Which we can actually get rid of almost immediately since it's still restlessness. And just a yearning at the moment. Though it looks like exotic cravings are coming again. Looks like we might not be able to stop. Thank goodness we have the fundings to keep using our passion to get rid of it. And away it goes. Transformed into glimmering. Peruse Savage's Humors of a Gentleman. By the end of the first act, Mavelin has revealed a secret door in the walls of the house to Leo, and Corvino has taken to consuming worms. Soon we'll start dreaming, once we're done studying all of our books, though we should start making sure that we're visiting Oriflammes a little bit more. Iridation and glimmering does really nothing for me at the moment. And looks like we've got the quite the glimmering building up there. Continue our work at the Institute. And let's explore this fleeting memory. It'll probably produce dread. Or possibly restlessness. I called that, didn't I? We have books to study. Why are we idle? Study Tasmane's The Burning of the Unburnt God. Tasmane's hypothesis, a pre-Zoroastrian fire deity, whose rites were the rites of smiths. Should we be exploring? I don't think we have anything else to discover. But we will continue our work at the Institute. And maybe explore any fleeting remnants we get. I should have taken care of that restlessness, but didn't. Now it's dread. We did find the Rite of the Soul. Rite of the Crucible Soul. This rite uses an instrument of power to set the blood of fire. Let me read that again. This rite uses an instrument of power to set the blood of fire. Fire is the lesion in the skin of the world. The assistant rarely survives unharmed. Nice. Our exploration gave us some contentment. And we continue our work at the Institute, a very easy source of money. Looks like we're being investigated. I don't think they'll find anything other than dread. Let's see if Oriflammes has any more antiquities. Looks like we can remove this dread. We've gained some contentment. Our job at the Institute has proved very lucrative. We certainly have no need for money on this playthrough. We should be researching books, and we're not. Translating from Latin, of course. We don't have many books left, though if we continue our journey to Oriflammes, we might have more. We did gain a film. It's like a book, but we need a projector. And that restlessness will turn to dread. Read this volume of the Orchid of Transfigurations. Flood, or pseudo-flood, suggests alignments between the alchemical traditions of Rubetto and the older Grail traditions through the Pine Knight's quest for the Cinnabar Cup. That'll counter that dread that it will become. Let's hit that fleeting memory there. It'll probably become more dread, but you know, what can we do? We have to explore the fleeting memories since we have nothing else to do with them. And dread. I remember that I was different before. We also need health. So instead of working at the Institute, let's work Arms of Iron. I will work with speed and in silence. I don't fear inquiry. In other words, very innocent forms of work that will gain us vitality to beat our afflictions. Nice. A Maglesian incantation. The Great Mother remembers from the aspect of Grail. Let us study this film, which we need a projector. The film rattles through the projector, glows silently on the wall. It is the story of a foolish student of forbidden sciences who recruits a dancer to entice the dead back to the world through a flaw in its skin. It's fiction, but here on a title card is laid out the operation of the declining sun. Restlessness. We might be able to belay that with passion once our work is done. A little bit of passion in our life. And we can use it to abate the yearning. And then we can use the vitality to abate the affliction. Oriflamme's is idle. Double the vitality for one single day's work. The operation of the declining sun. This invokes, acknowledges, and welcomes the passage to silence. So we now have another winter rite. And another ritual. The sunset rite. An assistant must cry tears of genuine emotion, which are asperged in the place where the influence lies. If all is done well, the sun in rags will consume the influence, acknowledge an ending, and lend its assistance. Unfortunately, that gained us some dread. We'll see how that deals out. Looks like it's already being pulled in. That is a Greek scholarly text, which we have. So, contentment for the dread. And that is it. Continue our work at the Institute. We're losing funds. And let's go ahead and study and remove that Greek language. We don't need it. Of course, more dread. Anything good at Oriflamme's? No. Looks like Oriflamme's is done. Okay. So, one final trip to Oriflamme's to sell this book, which we don't need. Read the 6 letters on necessity. Corsley's tone is urgent, as if he suspected he might have little time left. Ah, nice. Looks like our fascination has taken our dread. And our dread is gone. Replaced by fleeting remnants. And Oriflamme's is done. We have nothing left to get from them. More work at the Institute, maybe? At least until we're able to find commissions in the Mystic world. Looks like we're ready for a break, and just in case you're joining us and made it this far, I'm Thorn, and this is the Game Design Lexicon. Please make sure you're giving us a follow. We do this as often as we can, and specifically on the weekdays, 12 noon. Our Cultist Simulator is usually on the weekends, but we'll be back, and we'll leave you with some music.